A very good morning to all of you. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Martin Wong. Now, in today's trading idea with SMARTRobie, now we have a couple of good news to come with it. Definitely is some of those headlines that I will share with you in the coming session in here. Definitely last night, the Dow Jones continued to attempt to make new high, but we have not have a chance to break it up in here. We will also cover those in our breakfast show. But let's get on to the more important headline, which is what is the KLCI doing now. So please join me in our breakfast show. Now, in today's session, right, definitely we are still doing our promotion in here, which is our iPad giveaway campaign. And right now we are receiving a couple of very good best stock trade idea. Now, if you have not submitted your best stock trade idea, do submit and you have a chance to win a Grab 50 voucher for any submission, as well as a chance for the best stock trade idea to win the beautiful iPad there available for you, so you can view SMARTRobie in a bigger chart rather than your little handphone that you have. So please take note of this nice promotion that we're doing. Of course, Friday is the advance. We'll be looking at 2 trade idea of the premium alert, and also be looking at last week. One of the trade idea did make a good run, and I'm not sure whether you have a chance to get in and not. Definitely we will review some of those in our coming session right now in here. Now let's take a look at our headline this morning. Definitely, now first thing you want to go on is to look at our headline, and right now what we have is the KLCI switching to a wider chart here, and now we're going to just talk about a little bit about where we are right now. So you can see on the right hand side we are at the green pentagon, which you can see the trend zone is blue, which tells you its likelihood there is a biasness of the market moving up. That's right, moving up, and here we are. Now remember, we always talk about the banking stock which continue to move higher. No doubt yesterday we have some of the banking stock taking profit. We can also look at that right now later on in here. But what's more important on this news is the Forbes top billionaire in Malaysia reversal of fortune in here. And remember, if you see the right hand side of this chart here, the market continued to go higher, right? Then you can see more of this millionaire that we see in here. Of course, no other than Tan Sri, Robert Kwok, Kwek Lei Chan. Okay, if you can go on, that's the Carry group or the PBB group. Then you have the Hong Leong one. Then you have the Tan Sri Paul, which is the press metal. Another we know is the Maxis. Then the Public Bank. Number 6 is the IOI. Number 7 is the Hatta Lega. Number 8 is the Top Glove. Number 9 is also Chen Lip Keong, which is the Naga Corp, the Casino King, right? And also number 10 is a newcomer. It is Mr. DIY, who made it in the billionaire top list inside here. Of course, this kind of news may not be important to you and me, but it did put in respective some of our billionaire in the country, and we do get some sort of headlight, limelight that will do help us in the stock market. What do you think of it too? Of course, the fortune of this billionaire continue to go up. Maybe it's also good some of us should put some money in the longer term, especially if you are investing in the longer term, some of those shares which I've talked about in here. But at least for the time being, let's move on to our next news in here. Now, our next news continue to very similar to our market that you see in the chart here, continue to move up. The resistance level will still be 1620 in here. Now, this next news is talk about Moody, which is a rating, continue to keep Malaysia at A3 credit rating. Now, that's important. Any downgrade of it would eventually cost us more money. Means we need more we need to pay more interest to finance a lot of it. And right now we do know with the COVID-19, the amount of what we call bantuan or stimulus we are dishing out, it's a fair bit. As such, you could see right now we used to be around trying to push it to lower the deficit to 4%, but I think we're going to hit 6% right now in here. Of course, beyond 2014 to 2019, we are going back to 33.3. I think that's a far-fetched target in my opinion. It's going to be a real challenge for the current administration and also the Ministry of Finance to what we call minimize the deficit. All right, the deficit is going to go higher. We continue to borrow more, but having said that, at least keeping the rating at A3 does help to prevent us from paying more interest. Okay. Now the next story is Mr. DIY, as I said before, Mr. Yu there, which we talked about earlier on, is a newcomer to the Forbes Malaysia top billionaire. Definitely the Mr. DIY, which many of us are quite familiar with, the a hardware store which is almost everywhere, as many as petrol station, or what we call it police station too. So this one has replaced the Supermax, who used to be the darling because of last year of the pandemic that we saw, but right now has been replaced. Now we do take note, the FBM KLCI is like the top 30 classroom, where we have a top 30 best student. So if not, the student don't do so well, they get replaced, they go to the B class. Okay, so that's what happened to Supermax, didn't do so well. We've seen the chart, and of course let's take a look at Mr. DIY here. So you type Mr. MRDIY DIY, and let's take a look at the chart in here. It's well supported, having said that, and one of the reasons why is the institutional continue to support of the good result that we are getting in here. All right, we're going to look at this DIY chart has some issues. Now mind, we can look at the main chart that we have. So let's take a look at the KLCI on this one here. Bring it up. So you have DIY here. Okay, Mr. DIY, not MYDIY. Okay, MYDYI. All right, and you can see DIY is in the yellow trend zone. That's right, it's in the yellow trend zone right now. So that's not too good. Having said that, you can see we need to wait for the red pentagon for it to able to move higher. That's right, so take note of it in here. So on the longer run, is this cheap stocks? Okay, and let's take a look at the fundamental. Okay, DIY. Okay, Mr. DIY in here, looking at the fundamentals in here, definitely you could see it is rated only 1. It's pretty pricey, to be frank with you, at 54 times, but the ROE of 34%. That's making it very interesting, a very high ROE. Pay very little dividend in here, but having said that, have a good base support in here, around 3 ringgit, just short of 4 ringgit as the resistance in here. Right, and let's go on to our next story in here. All right, and definitely is going to be of course, the story also falls into there are other reserve lists. So should any of the other FBM 13 being displaced due to poor performance in here, there is what we call standby students like Westport, KOL, and Kosan, and also Inari. All right. Now the next story is the RHB Bank together working with Axiata. Right. Now this is kind of interesting because we are moving towards the digital world, as we have said before, the digital world, and they are bidding for a digital license, something they're going to be submitting to the SC in here. So RHB in sputtering, and we also seen the banking stock has returned and RHB has made new higher. Now anything that bank used to revitalize themselves definitely get a re-rating in, and that's what you can see. Kenangan has the Axiata of a buy call of 4 ringgit 20 cent and a buy call for RHB at 5.90. Now in many ways, also same thing with Maybank and Public Bank. If they were to talk about maybe spinning up a little small subsidiary of digital bank, you would see very likely things like Public Bank will move higher in here. And let's take a look at RHB Bank right now. And RHB Bank, all right, and you can see RHB Bank. All right, so RHB Bank, since then he has move up much higher to 5 ringgit 20 cents, and it's about 5.90. All right, and it's moved up almost about 5.50 now. It's just almost there. All right, whereas let's take a look at Axiata. Okay, Axiata, AXIA, and let's take a look at where is Axiata right now. Stock comment, and let's look at the stock chart here. And Axiata is started to move up because also on this news. So you can see right now it's just short of 4 ringgit and the 4.20. So it's almost there. Having said that, you can see a market is reacting to this news as a re-rating by Kenanga for outperform in here. But it's going to be the 4.20. If you look from the chart here, switching to a wider chart, it is about pretty much similar to the old resistance that we see here. Now do take note, stocks like this generally who are well mentioned, there's very little upside. You don't really lose money, nor you don't really make money in here. Just take note of it. Maybe in the longer run, when news like this is already been priced in, it's very difficult for you to see the market continue to go up. All right, let's move on to the next news is SKP. Now SKP posts a very good quarterly earnings. We did see a lot of the industrial products has been beaten down, and maybe no difference. So SKP here, SKP, right, resources, and let's look at the stock comment here and stock chart. All right, you can see SKP also resources has felt a fair bit, hitting a low of around just short of above $1, 1 ringgit 30 cent in here, and now it's coming back. No green pentagon yet. Having said that, this could be a good chance for those of you who wanted to buy SKP at a better price in here. Just wait for the green pentagon in here. I think today the livestock price should be up because of this news. No, it's actually pretty much unchanged at minus 0.3, but you do notice over the last 3 bars, this stock price has rebounded, forming a 2 double bottom in here. So that's probably tell you that we have seen in the shorter term the bottom of SKP. All right, something that is not too, what we call it, not too bullish. It has a support right now at around what price is this? Just blow it up a bit, around 150 here. So going forward, we hope that this should rebound back to the old high around 150. All right, and the manufacturing services continue to ditto. Now next, on the oil and gas, we have seen oil and gas has moved up higher, much more on the US sector. Later on we're going to talk about the US sector in here. But what has happened also, the crude oil has hit $70 and is the highest since 2019. So a lot of the oil and gas will probably come into play right now, and definitely hibiscus is in play. And the story carry among the another analyst re-rating for a buy recommendation on a sum of all part for a fair price of 85 cents. So let's look at hibiscus for where it is. Click this one here, right, and let's take a look. Where is hibiscus right now? Okay, hibiscus right now. So we have hibiscus currently is, okay, let's look at this. This is hibiscus. Yeah, that's right. So switching to a wider chart here. And yeah, again, the bottom sort of well supported. You can see the bottom is well supported around 64 cents. And again, here is a fair price of 85 cents. So there is a little bit of upside going forward in there. And if this goes up, I think that's going to be pretty good too. If 85 cents level there. So right now we haven't seen anything yet that will substantiate to have this movement, but do take note because of this news, they suspended in here. Let's take a look whether this morning, if the hibiscus news is already out and whether there's a gap up. Usually we do get this kind of announcement here. No, it's still pretty much suspended. Looks like it's still in unchanged in here, but there you go, right? If you feel that the analyst is correct on this buy recommendation, right, and then you just need to, do the trading plan in here and see if the market can go up. But right now, you can see it is in a yellow trend zone. Just be careful. Just wait for the green pentagon to come. All right, let's move on to our next news. Our next news is on, again, another oil and gas player, Hwa-Seong. Now, on the back of it, Hwa-Seong have a new wind contract in here. Again, let's take a look at Hwa-Seong. Okay, and I hit that one. Okay, let's look at the stock chart here. So Hwa-Seong, switching wider chart here. So Hwa-Seong, again, oil and gas, just like hibiscus, hit a low. Everybody hit the same thing low because of the lockdown in here, but that could be another opportunity for you to buy. Just wait for the green pentagon in here. Target price about 120 ringgit in here, and right now you can see from this, let me just pinch this up, and you can see right now is 84 cents. All high seems to be 90 cents in here. If you're interested, oh, it is turned green pentagon. You notice on the bottom right hand side, just turn green pentagon. All right, so that's a nice one in here. If you are bullish on the oil and gas, 120 in here, definitely this is a chart to look at. All right, buy call 120. All right, let's move on to the US section right now. Now on the US section, last night the Dow Jones did close slightly lower, and it is actually hitting resistance. The uptrend is still intact, and like it or not, that resistance at the 35,000, I think very close to it. It's going to be a tough nut to crack as inflation being priced in here. And yesterday also there is a raise in the interest rate on the 10-year U. As such, that we have another sell-off on the Nasdaq. Now do take note, right? And this is one of the reasons why, is because the Federal Reserve are not increasing to buy the bonds. They are beginning to sell more bonds. So when you sell more bonds, bond price drop, interest rate goes up. All right, let me just repeat that. So when they sell the bond price will drop, interest rate goes up, and that's why we have the selling off in the Nasdaq. So those value stocks, the traditional stocks, usually, which is the mom and pop stock, the travel, the retail, physical retail, not so much on the online retail, will tend to do much better. The oil and gas, yes, the oil and gas is started to also move up, and that will sort of sweep to the Malaysian market in here, right? Technology stocks, and definitely another one is also on the same infrastructure, is more people are coming out because of the vaccine rollout that they have in US, and there were only 5,000 cases. As a matter of fact, the cases in US now is definitely less than Malaysia for a population of 320 million on the back of the vaccine rollout. And I do note that many of you would agree that we need more vaccine rollout in order to bring the cases down. And also UK, United Kingdom, has 0 death for the first time in here, and right now we are hitting Malaysia 3-digit death toll, and it's taking a toll also in the community and also among the social media in here. When will we get out from here in here? Now pretty much on this story here, it's about Ford. Ford is really taking off, and one of the reasons why this is the continued opening up economy. And Tesla, despite having a green pentagon, took a hit because the share price of Tesla has dropped as more and more cars like the electric cars. The Ford are rolling out the Ford Mustang on electric cars in here, and that seems to be taking a little bit of market share from Tesla. And let's take a look at Ford. Switching to S&P 500, hit that one, and of course we type F. That's how simple is it. Or you can type Ford. Okay, hit that one, and we will look at Ford right now, looking at the stock chart and stock price here. So you can see Ford, since the economic right at the bottom, we were around $12. All right, and since it has made up to $14 in here, it's really as a nice uptrend. If you're looking to buy Ford, wait for a pullback or use a trading plan for Ford anyway. Right now, and do take note, our Malaysian chart, okay, if you switch back to B Auto, okay, switch back to B Auto, which is the Mazda, do we see the same trend that we see in US? So this is a chance for you, especially those of you who want to have some sort of correlation between the US market. You can switch on to US and switch back to Malaysia, and you'll see that one, the stock chart and stock comment, whether there is a relationship between them. And you can see maybe with Ford going up, our B Auto has come up. We did have the green pentagon and it turned back up, but right now you can see the trend is certainly moving up. Do B Auto follow from Ford? We will know. And do remind me if the news do come up again. We have already talked about Ford. Now from time to time on our breakfast show, I will bring you a lot of the US related stock as we are launching our US market in here. Definitely something you can check it out during the day and prepare for the night trading in the US market in here. Right. So let's also move on to the next section in here. So the next section is our regular Pentagon Guider, which continue to outperform. Now, as I said before, part of our agenda for year 2020 was to do a lot of back testing in here, and definitely this weekend we will be going into some of the system development and also system testing, why we are able to achieve the big return in 106% in 2020, and partly is because we have a good turn. But this year, no doubt the market hasn't moved anywhere. We are still in target for January up to June, a 12.2% return in here with a win rate of 67 compared to a KLCI of -2. So all in all, we have beaten it by almost 14%, which is not bad considering the lackluster market that we have. And again, the question I'm going to ask you, how has your portfolio been doing? Can we help you or not? Can we help you to improve your portfolio? If not, do join our this weekend workshop, and we're going to be going into some of the mechanics and some of the system, how we are able to help you. So, and that's the only way we felt that is to pass on some of our knowledge and education to you, so you're able to do it much better in here. Now, of course, let's move on to the trade idea that we have last week. Definitely the leaderboard continued to be the metal, and we did some good ones also. Hyaptech 5, Hyaptech, CL holding Samadan 12%. And also looking back at the last trade idea, we did have a good winner. Definitely was Pharma, which we talked about it on the 28th of May. It's gone up, hit the new high at 38% in here before reversing, and we will take a look at that one. And also CAP, which is still pretty much here, and knowing CAP is a poultry farm, it doesn't really sort of fall into the news that what we see on pharma, which is actually banking on the COVID, which we talk about it. Let's take a look at the chart. Is Cap Jabaran here? First one is Cap here. All right, and you can see Cap Jabaran did hit, this was on the 28th, hit high, and then the next day it sort of dropped back 6%, but guess what? It is still in a nice uptrend thing in here. Like it or not, I don't think poultry will be affected that much. It is considered as an essential items in here. So that's what it is. Trend still continue to go up. You can see on our VF volume, those of you who have our plugin in here, this is still showing it's a nice uptrend in here. Let's take a look at Pharma, which we talk about this trade idea. On the same time, Pharma Niaga on the 28th, you can see 28 was just here. That's right, 28 on at 10 o'clock, isn't it? At that time that we talk about here, that was 28. Around here you can see, and then the market huge move up in here, and then of course right now it's undergoing profit taking. Usually the case is once the news it's already out, you can see pop all the way, but there was a chance to hit that 38% or even 10-15% is up to you. Having said that, that will give you, right now we can see it's crossing the ATR stop loss today, so it's time to exit, not time to go in for pharma. All right, just take note of this one in here. Very nice one for our trade idea, a 38% from where we was talking last Friday. That's right, last Friday around the same time in here. Now let's move on to this week trade idea. All right, this week trade idea, definitely we have two, Efficient and Pekka. All right, first one we'll look at is Efficient, which is a penny stocks, EFFI, E-Solution here. You can see Efficient, and one of the things I like about it, you got a lot of springs over here, well supported. Again, these are the trade setup mental, the what we call the conceptual maps, which we usually talk about it in our masterclass, and I'll quickly show you in the next slide, where we have the no supply, a very powerful high win rates, and it's coming in here right now as of 10:30. We have an uptrust. We still need to wait for this to come. Definitely you have the old resistance in here. Let's see how efficient we're going to take off by the time we get back. Next one is Pekka, which is the auto leather car maker. Very nice one. You can see this one is definitely has element of smart money accumulating here around 4 ringgit 50 cent. Hasn't turned green pentagon yet, so we are definitely ahead of time. Again, remember, today is advanced class, and those of you who know how to read the chart and know how the setup works, how VSA work, perhaps you might want to take a look at this trade in here and use this as one of the trade idea, or maybe just practice it in here. We've got a spring here, we got a test, take out the spring, and definitely we want to see next week whether today it will turn green pentagon or not. All right, definitely we are catching it very early before the green pentagon. And right now let's switch to the hourly chart, and something very good for those of you who want to be a more active trader. And of course, let me just refresh this again. You can see the market pinned down here, started to move up just this morning in here. A good location to buy will probably be a pullback, but make sure you learn that pullback skill and know where to go in to give you that kind of location value, all right, to go in at a better price. So those are the two trade idea that we have for you, is Efficient and Pekka. All right. Let's go on to what we have for you next is definitely the setup, which we have talked about just now, right? You want to pay attention to a lot of the low volume, which we've seen just now before Pekka move. On the left-hand side, we have all those volume, then you see the line change. Check out Pekka and compare to this chart in here. And of course, those of you who want to understand more, we have a short tutorial in here. This is the QR code. Do check it out in here. It will put you in a very nice position in here. All right. And of course, do take note, no doubt this coming Monday, we will have our public holiday, but the coming Friday is our masterclass. We still have a couple of seats more. And those of you who have registered, I thank you for your support, and we will continue to support you and teach you, train you, and share with you many of our experiences for the next 12 to 15 months mentorship under our masterclass program. Just imagine what you can get from a 1 year period of us training you, following us in here. And in many ways, that is how myself, my team, as well as my coaches will train to the mentorship of the father of VSA, where we pass the knowledge in here. Now, this is the investment and the time that you need to put. And guess what? If you have registered for our masterclass, you can always come back and re-attend our masterclass again, which we do it very regularly, so you can up your skill and also able to follow me. Right now, we have just above me the US market, real focus, and also the KLSE market. If the KLSE market not doing too well, we got the US market, as I will daily brief you on the manners that we look at. All right, so that's great. And of course, this weekend, one of the ways we want to show you is how to achieve above average return, which we did now, 12.2% with a win rate of 67 in here. Definitely 2 to 4:30 p.m. We're going to go more into the mechanics and the mechanisms in here to show you why the master class is worthwhile for you to take a look at it. All right, that's a QR code. Make sure you scan it. And right now, we're going to go on to the your stock trade idea. Those of you who have. And if you have any of those trade idea, we definitely want to look at them. And of course, do give us a good review on Google Play Store and Apple Play Store. Just check it out in there, and our business, and also in Facebook. If you've done a great job, if you've not done a great job, do let us know. We will continue to improve our services and product to your better user experience in the stock market. I think that's very important, because we want to find out, look, if one user experience is not good in a certain exchange, we have to look for opportunity elsewhere. As I said before, it's more like really like a fishing pond. If this fishing pond doesn't give you the kind of fish, we just sort of have to move on to another one. And right now, we can definitely do here. All right. So we'll take note of any stocks that you all have and you want me to look at. We have here lie here for chrono very quickly. Chronological. Yes, I think this switch back to daily chart. Okay, yep, it's a green pentagon in here, has all the distribution and all the washout, all right? So that's a good one in here. Of course, the green pentagon just came yesterday. This is a pullback that we have seen. Hopefully, it could be one of those 4 pullbacks that we teach in our masterclass in here. I think if you have registered for our masterclass or already a member in here, that will be great. And we will revise this on this weekend in here, so make sure you catch that. So we got a lot more in here. Simon, one of our great supporter in here. Look at Jax, also nice one, green pentagon, and you guys are expert, right, picking up all the green pentagon in here. I think this one is good. It's just a pullback, just like one of the stocks we bought for the for our pentagon trade simulation in here. It's DNEX. All right, which on the green pentagon here, you can see this one just going to come soon. Akan datang lah, this one. As you know, Foxconn is talking to Jax inside here. So the charts that some of you guys have been trained, like the JAY early on was I think by Lie here, Chrono, all are coming in. And one of the reasons why, if you just switch on to the KLCI, going to SMARTRobie, going to the hot sectors, you can see. Right, the hot sectors right now, number one is what? Technology. See, no difference, right? So that's why it's no surprise, especially those of you who are new. This is the methodology that we usually show, that how we can always get in, do what we call a sector rotation, quickly rotating out, and in many ways we can stay ahead of the curve. Right, so we stay ahead of the curve. We are not bogged down by a lot of those not slow moving stocks inside here. All right, then we have the next, we have Focus Dynamic, as assume. Okay, focus dynamic, not yet lah. Very simple way to trade this. Just wait for the green pentagon. Okay, LKL, which remains to be one of those, yeah, you can see, right? You get a lot of upthrust, a lot of resistance in here. Just take note, this one still not ready yet to move. You can see volumes a bit low. It need to remove a lot of the sellers. The sellers definitely are around here when they come to 41, 42 cents. All the sellers coming out, and that's what it's pushing back down in here. For Ian is Astro. Okay, Astro, yep, Astro continue to make good. One of those considered as a value stock here. Partly is also riding on the Disney Plus channel, all right, which we did talk about on Tuesday, Warren, right? Definitely want to get a bit of gearing. Use the Macquarie Warren in here, and that will give you some sort of vol in here. All right, let's look at Tasco. Tasco is Ford Trading, okay, and Tasco Green Pentagon. Yeah, that's right. Still holding out a nice space. Again, this is impacted by pretty much by the COVID-19 total lockdown that we see inside here. And we all know during the lockdown that we have, depending how long, logistics because of e-commerce and a play on that more very likely. Still looks good. You can see the tails there are very nicely quite long. So just have to wait for that breakout in here. MNSV. Okay. Another green pentagon here, just nice, you know, pullback. Again, all these are tech stocks. As you can see just above me, what's hot right now is technology. It is back, and finance, it is back. And remember, the last COVID-19 that we have, a lot of the tech stock did well, and very similar patterns we are seeing right now. Pokong is a play on gold because of the inflation. Right, and gold tend to have this kind of, you know, one bar push up. Now do take note that in the history, I remember Pokong for the last 10-15 years, every time we see a surge like what we see, a widespread bar, huge volume, you can see this. This is why it's important that you get some of our tools right in here, which tell you this is a climatic volume, and usually it is distribution. And most of the time, people would probably end up buying at $1. They would, if you have bought in somewhere around here, by the time you gaps up here, you could have gotten out. But right now, if you're here, you're just waiting for another widespread gap and get out. It's going to be tough. Now, a lot of time, this kind of stocks usually trap a lot of beginners. That's why it's my job to share with you, stay away from this kind of stocks. It is exciting for what it is, because partly, for the gold play, it doesn't really correlate to the gold play. There's really not much of a fundamental in Pokong. It's just that smart money use the pretense of the gold to push up and then chabot. Right? Very hard to make money on Pokong for that one. Okay, let's look at Solution. Solution again, it's one of the play on Solution Group. Okay, not this one here. That's a Singapore one. Okay, Solution here. Now you can see Solution, green pentagon in here. Another play on the healthcare. Very similar to kind of how to get the setup like LKL. It's not ready yet to push higher. You got a lot of resistance here around 150. Definitely volumes are diminishing. That's pretty good, and we just need to wait for this bar to go back up. All right, we got the ground floor, which is actually our the stock trade idea last Friday. Right, ground floor is still okay. You got these two resistance at the upthrust there. Needs to break out. Okay, as long as it stays above this little 58 cents here, that's going to be good, because green pentagon with blue trend zone, that's pretty safe, still above the ATR stop loss in here, and you have the NS. We just need to wait. All right, sense off again, a tech stocks, right, will do well. Yeah, you can see pullback in here. All the tech stocks are actually behaving like that. I think even Inari, which is the market leader, already turned green pentagon. Yep, that's right. All of them look the same. All right, once the market turn, you'll get, okay, Opcon is the fiber optics. Yep, hasn't turned green pentagon yet. Akan datang lah. I think earnings came out, market been down. A lot of stocks pretty much look like this, at the very low base. And again, going back to the KLCIs, which I said before, if the KLCI continue to improve from here, right, with the bank and the bank healthcare, okay, technology, remember, it's not one of the big component of the KLCI in here. All right, Tavin. Okay, Tavin here. Tarvin, yeah, you hit the resistance, pull back at the spring in here, not ready yet. So you still have this so-called sideways movement. Volume is going to be low in here. I'm not too sure what. Check out the sector where Tarvin is. Okay, it has to be one of those sectors just above me in here to have some sort of what we call momentum to push up. So it's pretty important for you to check out this every day in the morning session in here to know where they are and at least be informed for that one. All right. Okay, let's see if we have any more other stocks that we want to talk about here. Okay, we got Chrono, we got VS, that's right. VS again with SKP, it should come back. Yep, that's right. You know VS and SKP, they're like brother, abang adik like that. Very similar one. So you can see this one already turned green pentagon. All right, and then it's coming back already. Okay. Okay, next one is Astino. Okay, Astino, no green pentagon yet. The market has pulled back in here. It's trying to retest. If there's a green pentagon, that would be great. Definitely, we have the big correction that we have, all resistant around the old higher 170 in here. And it's important to see we have volume starting to come back right now in here. Volume starting to come back in here. The longer term trend, I think, is still intact. All right, for Jessica in here. So I think we've done pretty good today. We got another one coming in on Maestron. I think this is a tech one. Yep, no green pentagon yet, and just moving up. And again, I always talk about the green pentagon. It's important. Once it comes in, everything comes into play. If it's not, then you just need to do whatever you need to. All right. We got the what's the other one here? We got Doreen here with Yongtai. Yongtai is one of those this morning premium alert. That's right. Now Yongtai, like it or not, having said that, it's one of those really penny shares. It gaps up a fair bit, 7%, and you got this upthrust. And usually, it all depends on tonight. Compared to one of the stocks just now, I just picked the stock trade idea. I like that chart better than this one here. It's just that the tails, the wick, is just too long. So it's important that you learn all this and to see on the left hand side to ensure that you always pick the right stock. To ensure you always pick the right stock in here. All right. We got another one from FPI, which is one of the picks that we have on Wednesday. That's right. Now we have this is a daily chart. We picked this on Wednesday, right? And we have a sell-off 3% in here. Still looks okay. Still intact. We're still in the blue trend zone in here. Now do take note, the stocks just don't go up straight. Especially all of you, we always talk about the agenda, train trader and a train investor. So it's important for you to learn those chart, all right? Learn those chart and understand why the market pull back for what it is, so you can have a better understanding and also control your emotion. Because when you buy something, the stock don't move and sell off a bit, you don't understand, you very kinchong. You very and we want to overcome that. To overcome that, we need to have knowledge and skill. Something that we will talk about this on Saturday. So that's all. I suppose we'll cover a lot more. Thank you all for your great input of stock trade idea. We will review them, and I believe we learned a fair bit too among ourselves in here. All right, let's move on to our next section here. Definitely subscribe to our YouTube, and remember, even Wednesday, our night talk about the 10,000 ringgit or low plus the STEC framework. You all remember that? STEC framework can be used, and definitely we will review it this weekend here. So subscribe to our YouTube and be informed. And don't forget to submit your best stock trade idea. Many of you have given me a lot of great trade idea, and I think a lot of them will do very well. So submit it and have a chance to win the 50 ringgit Grab voucher in here. Check out the details. And of course, those of you who are first time, right, do join our Telegram chat room or share with your friends and colleagues so they will benefit too. So with that, I will end our breakfast show for today in here, and I'll definitely want to see you right tomorrow. That's right, tomorrow we're doing our so-called achieving above average return for 2021, so you can have some sort of a framework and idea how we do it in Trade VSA also with SMARTRobie. So check it out in here, and of course a chance for you to see more of what we have to offer in our masterclass for the next 12 to 15 month mentorship in here. Definitely something that is worthwhile. Many of our existing masterclass members will definitely give you a wow that this is something good and worthwhile to invest your time in. After all, you've been with us for almost some time since we've been doing the MSO 3.0 in here, and we will continue our education going forward to share with you our experience and our coach. Thank you for coming today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.